Anthony Stalter with us now, 101 ESPN, from 101 ESPN on 107.7 The Franchise. That's a mouthful. He joins us on the Little Caesars Hot and Ready hotline. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Zach?
It's good to hear from you, buddy.
You too.
Let me start here. So I get all the Bradford honks around here. I get them upset with me because I say that Bradford's just a guy. I call him a jag. And, the Bradford fans get mad at me. How accurate am I, or inaccurate? How inaccurate am I?
Well, let's start here. How many winning seasons has Sam Bradford had?
I don't think there's been any.
0.
Unless you want to count his what was he last year? What was he like? Or 2 years ago, 3-2 or something? What was he doing when he?
I don't even know if he had a winning record by the time he went out.
Okay.
0 playoff appearances. His career completion percentage was right around 58%. His yards per attempt average, which I'm always very, very high on for a quarterback, is below average for league starters. I think Sam Bradford has been living off of not only his Oklahoma resume, but also that one pro day that he had at Oklahoma, where he blew every scout away. Every talent evaluator saw Sam Bradford go 60 for 60 or whatever it was in completions, and everybody, including Chip Kelly apparently, has continued to cite that one appearance and say this guy's got all the talent in the world. I think that from a talent standpoint, he is good, Zach. But for a guy that doesn't take a lot of shots downfield, for a guy that's supposed to be, one of his biggest traits is to be accurate, to be sitting at 58%. I'm just not that impressed. I think the Rams dodged a huge bullet with this trade yesterday.
Well, what is the fan reaction? Because I think I'm of the belief that if we've got a fan reaction that is very happy about this trade for the most part, then I think that tells us all we need to know about just how good everybody thinks Sam Bradford is in his own backyard. So give me the percentage of people, Rams fans out there, that are happy today.
I think 95%
really?
From what I can see, yes. Because the biggest thing here to keep in mind is that the Rams were stuck. The free agent options for quarterbacks were brutal. The NFL draft this year was shallow with quarterbacks. So instead of talking about some mid-round prospect like Baylor's Bryce Petty, who doesn't fit in a pro-style system that the Rams are going to operate once again this year under new offensive coordinator Rob Boris, the best option was Sam Bradford until yesterday. And everybody kind of thought that, well, what if you can get Nick Foles for a second-round pick? Would you do it? And the consensus was yes. So now you give yourself more cap space, plus you're getting Nick Foles, who by default is a better option because outside of last year when he had the broken collarbone, he's not coming off of back-to-back reconstructive knee surgeries, and he's a fit for this offense. So the Rams go from being stuck and really hamstrung by the cap situation to having a decent quarterback come in, one that does have a playoff appearance on his resume, and who's actually hopefully going to be on the field for the Rams for 16 games next year.
Anthony Stalter with us, 101 ESPN and the Rams Radio Network on 107.7 The Franchise here on the Little Caesars Hot and Ready Hotline. All right, what do you do with these guys? Because we're getting the texts and the tweets coming in as you speak. Lance on Twitter, Sam Bradford would have been a fantastic QB if he had an offensive line that wasn't offensively horrible. Offensively, I'm sure that's what that meant. James on Twitter, who has Bradford had to protect him and who has he had to throw to? What do you do to those people? Because I'm sure you get those in St. Louis.
Get it all the time. And I would say this. What has Andrew Luck done behind a brutal offensive line in Indianapolis and zero running game? What has he done?
Pretty
couple
good.
Playoff appearances,
a
couple AFC title, last year AFC title appearance. I mean, Andrew. Sorry for the rhetorical question that I just stomped all over your answer.
No, it's pretty good.
I mean, and Andrew Luck, who is also a number one overall pick, has elevated the talent around him consistently. Yes, Bradford had a couple of different offensive coordinators earlier in his career. I bought into that excuse. I also bought into the excuse of, well, he didn't have a lot of talent around him. So the Rams go out and they spend all this money on Jared Cook. They go up and get Tavon Austin. They draft several running backs. They pay the money for Jake Long. They shelled out a lot of money for Roger Saffold too. They've tried to build the offense around Sam Bradford, finally give him something to work with, and he's gotten hurt the last 2 years. Is that his fault? No. But how often can you keep going back to all the excuses before you just throw up your hands and say, it wasn't going to work here in St. Louis? And I'll tell you another thing. If Sam Bradford goes out there and has success in Chip Kelly's offense, which is certainly possible if he can stay healthy, it was still a good move for the Rams because you don't know if he would have that same success here in this city with this team under this coaching staff. It just wasn't working out. I loved Sam Bradford in training camp last year. I saw a different guy. He was throwing the ball deep more. He had a connection with Kenny Britt. I thought, okay, finally this is going to be the year. And then he goes out there and he gets hurt again. I understand a lot of the excuses that are being made for Bradford, but given the situation that the Rams are in, without the benefit of hindsight, I think this was the right move at the right time.
All right, so good move for the Rams. Anthony Stalter with us, 101 ESPN in St. Louis and the Rams Radio Network here on 107.7 The Franchise. So good move for the Rams. Good move for Bradford?
Yeah, I think so, because you get out of this situation. He had the worst luck here in St. Louis. He was a polarizing figure. It was probably 60-40 with people wanting to see him gone compared to the ones that were just like your tweets and your texters down in Oklahoma right now saying, well, just give an offensive line, give them the weapons, this, that, and the other thing. So I think it is a good situation because he gets out and he goes to a system in Philadelphia, assuming he's staying there and he's not going to be traded and Chip Kelly doesn't pull another rabbit out of his hat here. Then he's in a system where he can make a couple of quick reads, get the ball out quickly. It's a system similar to the one in Oklahoma, though the thing that I keep coming back to that I'm confused with is Chip Kelly usually likes to have that threat of a mobile quarterback because he packages a lot of plays together. So he has the read option off the running back, then he looks toward the wide receiver screen, then he can hit the tight end. It's very up-tempo and quick, and therefore it's a smaller playbook because you can't run all those. You can't run just a plethora of plays in that fast, if you get what I'm saying. So I think that Bradford going to a simpler system, one that's designed to get the ball out quickly, that may help him. That may benefit him. But again, he's got to stay healthy.
That was all really good. I got we're getting the guy you have on now is an idiot who can't compare the two O-lines. Colts one was way better.
Really? Okay. Well, hey, the offensive line here in St. Louis, a lot of people thought was going to be pretty decent. Jake Long, then he drafted Greg Robinson, who switched to left guard. He's a number 2 overall pick. Scott Wells was a big money free agent that didn't pan out. Roger Saffold, the Rams couldn't wait to get him back here in St. Louis after Oakland messed up that contract. Joe Barksdale developed very well under Paul Boudreau, who does outstanding work and is regarded in the league, not just my opinion, in the league as one of the best offensive line coaches. So, I mean, the excuses can continue for Sam Bradford. For me, I'm fine with the move that the Rams have made based off the last couple of years.
Why do you think Chip Kelly did it?
I think Chip Kelly sees the same thing that a lot of people see in Bradford, and that he's got ideal size, he's got great arm talent, and he thinks that get him out of that situation in St. Louis, roll the dice that he's going to be healthy, and if he is finally healthy, he could have a lot of success.
Good talking to you. Man, that was a meat sandwich right there. That was good.
Well, hopefully I riled up a lot of the listeners. I'm imagining this is a lot of Oklahoma Sooners fans.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, they're. I mean, they're all. Bradford got the short end of the stick. Blah blah blah. He has. I mean, it's tough. He's had a lot of injuries. I feel bad for him. I hope he succeeds, but I think you're right. Whether he succeeds or not in Philadelphia is not going to change the fact that it was not a good fit in St. Louis. Period. Right?
No. Let me throw out one other thing to you and your listeners, Zach. You're Chip Kelly. You're the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's say that Sam Bradford has a decent season. Goes out there, maybe he wins 9 games. So he finally gets a winning season. Maybe that gets the Eagles into the playoffs. Maybe it does not, right? What do you do then? Do you sign him to another – you give him another fat contract and roll the dice off on a guy that's got reconstructive knee surgeries in 2 of the last 3 years? What do you do?
Yep. No, I'm with you.
I think it's a huge dilemma.
Anthony, where are we at with the Rams in L.A.? What's the latest on that?
I think there's a lot of Zach. There's a lot of things going on with that situation, but I'll say this. Here's the bottom line: it's going to come down to whether or not the NFL is going to abide by its own guidelines. If they do that, then the Rams aren't going anywhere because the city of St. Louis has put together the stadium proposal. They have agreed to lessen the time that it would take to build it. Once they first unveiled it, it was like 2020. Now they're saying they can get it done in 2018 because the NFL wanted the process to be sped up. St. Louis has put up a good front to saying we deserve to be an NFL city. But as we know, the NFL is going to do whatever it wants. If it wants a team out in L.A. and Stan Kroenke gives them that opportunity, then I'm sure the NFL will toss out its own guidelines, find some loopholes, and allow the Rams to move to St. Louis. But to me, and there's a lot more that wraps up in there, but to me it comes down to the NFL.
Say hi to the missus.
Will do. Thanks, Zach.
Talk to you, man. All right, buddy. Anthony Stalter on 107.7 The Franchise. He's with 101 ESPN in St. Louis, and he's also on the Rams radio network.